So in today's session, we'll be covering a very interesting and an important topic of mathematical induction. So when we prove mathematical formulae, inequalities, and theorems, there are basically two methods of mathematical reasoning which we generally use. These methods are the method of mathematical deduction and the method of mathematical induction. So coming to mathematical deduction, basically when we move from, when there's a transition from a general proposition to a particular one, then we say that we are using the method of mathematical deduction. So when we solve equations and we find the particular value of x, that's essentially mathematical deduction. Induction, on the other hand, is basically used to check the validity of a statement. So when we try to find out whether a given statement is true or not, we are essentially using the principle of mathematical induction. Now, what is a statement? A statement is a tentative conclusion of an observation that needs to be proven or disproven. Any statement which involves mathematical relation or relations is called mathematical statement. So let's find out the principle of mathematical induction first. I have written the statement of the principle. So let's say Pn is a statement. Now, what do we mean by Pn being a statement? In my previous video on arithmetic progression, we had found out the sum of the first n terms of sum of the first n natural numbers. So we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 up to n, which is n into n plus 1 by 2. If you want to check, you can always go back. So that is essentially another form of statement. So we are using a particular value of n, small n, where n is a natural number, of course. It can't be 0 or it can't be negative number. So when we say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 up to n equal to n into n plus 1 by 2, that equation itself is a statement which concerns a particular value of n, and that statement is represented by p of n. And needless to say, n belongs to the set of natural numbers, so n can be 1, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. So let's say Pn is a statement as we have defined it, and if we get two conditions, then we can say that the statement that we have is true for all values of n. So let's find out what these two conditions are. Sorry. Let's say that P1 is true. What does it mean? When P1 is true, we essentially put the value of n equal to 1 in the statement Pn. So, for example, the expression that we had considered before, the sum of the first n natural numbers, 1 plus 2 plus dot 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 up to n, if we put the value of n equal to 1 on both sides of the expression, does it satisfy? You can check it out on your own. It does satisfy, or you can use the method of mathematical induction that we'll discuss in today's session, and you can have a go for practice. We will find out that it gets satisfied even for the example that we took. So let's say P1 is true, that is Pn is true for value of n equal to 1. Now the second condition is Pm true implies Pm plus 1 is true. So in the second step, what we assume is, we assume that Pm is true. That is, P for particular value of n equal to m, the statement holds. And we test whether under that particular assumption, Pm plus 1 holds as well. So if we assume that Pn equal to 3 holds, do we automatically get that Pn equal to 4 holds? Or if we have Pn equal to m to be true, does it automatically tell us that Pm plus 1 is also true based on this assumption? If these two conditions hold, that is, if Pn equal to 1 is true, and under the assumption that Pm is true, we get that Pm plus 1 is automatically satisfied, then we say that Pn is true for all values of m. You may ask why. Of course, mathematics is a subject where we keep on asking why, and we keep on trying to answer our doubts. So nonetheless, we'll be finding out why. You see, if P1 is true, then that is, the first condition is satisfied. Now the second condition says, if Pm is true, then Pm plus 1 is also true. Keeping this condition aside, we go back to the first condition and find out that P1 is already true. So if we put the value of m equal to 1, and by the second condition, we use the concept that Pm true implies Pm plus 1 is true, then P1 being true will imply that P2 is also true. Let me just write that down for your better understanding. So we have P1 is true. And from the condition, from the second condition, we find that if Pm is true, then Pm plus 1 is true. So if P of a particular value of n is true, then the statement for the next value is also true. So if we have P1 true, then P2 is also true. My P is a little disastrous. Sorry for that. So if we have P1 is true, then by the second condition, we automatically get P2 is true. Now concentrate on P2. P2 being true, if the second condition is held, then P2 being true implies that P3 is also true. If we move on, then P1 being true implies P2 is true. If P2 is true, then P3 is also true. If P3 is true, then P4 will be true. P5, P6, up to Pn. Basically, all values of n, where n belongs to the natural number set, all of them are true. So we essentially show that Pn is true for all values of n. And that is exactly what this statement says. If P1 is true and Pm true implies Pm plus 1 is true, then Pn, that is the general statement, is true for all values of n, where n is the set of natural numbers. Note that I am repeating the fact that n belongs to the set of natural numbers because that is one of the most important, let's say, assumption or condition of the principle of mathematical induction. So let's just have a slight revision for the steps that we need to follow when we solve a particular sum. The first step that we need to do is express the question or the statement that we have in terms of Pn. We'll have an example session right after this, so you'll understand it better there. Whatever question is given or whatever statement is given, we need to express it in a mathematical statement form, and that is called Pn. The next step is we need to check the validity of Pn for the lowest possible value of n. So in my principle of mathematical induction, I had showed the value of P for 1 to be true as condition 1, but there may be statements which have the value of n starting from 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. It may not have the applicability of n equal to 1. So basically we need to check the validity of the statement for the lowest possible value of n that it can attain. The next step is assume that Pn is true for some value of m, take n to be equal to m, that is, and we say that m is any value which is a natural number. So that's basically the first part of condition 2. We assume that the statement, the general statement Pn is true for some particular value of m. Step 4 is essentially the calculation part of the sum. We check the validity of Pm plus 1 under the assumption in step 3. So this is basically the second part of condition 2. Assuming that Pm is true, we check the validity of Pm plus 1. So that's the basic concept.